Puffin today. Puffin's a 3-year-old female sun conure who presented to us today because she's been a bit off colour. She got me thinking, it's probably a good time that we put together a little video to explain what we should look out for when we have sick birds in hospital. So Puffin, obviously at the moment, is a little bit off colour. She's fluffed, she's lethargic, and she's a little bit depressed. You can see her wings are hanging down and she's having trouble holding onto the perch. Those are all things that we identify as being possible reasons for needing to go and see the vet. As we know, birds are a prey species. That means that when they are showing clinical signs of disease, most of the time that disease is already very advanced. Because they live in a flock, they have to make sure that they can keep up with everybody else, and so they will pretend for as long as they can that they're healthy before they decompensate and start to show signs that they're unwell. For that reason, we try and make sure that we get the birds into the clinic every 6 months to make sure that we have a health check, we can identify any issues that are problems early before they become such a significant issue that they make the birds unwell. When we get the birds into the clinic, we do a physical examination. Physical exam, basically we go over the whole bird, look at their eyes, their ears, inside their mouth, into their crop, and then we also check out their wings and their legs and their coelomic cavity, which is the abdominal cavity of the bird that contains their kidneys, their liver, their spleen, and all of their gastrointestinal tract. Sometimes we'll check some droppings, sometimes we'll check some crop samples as well under the microscope, just to identify any pathogens that could be sitting in there causing issues in the long term. One of the other things that we sometimes do when we do a health check is that we'll do DNA sexing. DNA sexing helps us to identify the bird's sex. Like Puffin here, we now know that she is a female, but up until today, her owners thought that she was a boy. That allows us to plan for the future and allows us to prepare for things like spring, when egg laying or reproductive behaviour or hormonal activity might change a bird's behaviour, or it might change the way that the owners need to interact or set up an environment that's more safe for those birds during that time of year. With the 6 monthly health checks, we try and get them in early, before spring, and then again just before the beginning of the winter. What that does is it spaces those health checks out through the year, allows us to pick up issues before the reproductive time of the year, and then before the toughest time of the year for the birds, when they start to run into issues when it gets cooler. They don't have as much insulation as a lot of the other species that we deal with, and so we have to try and make sure that we support them through those difficult times. If you notice that your bird's fluffed, lethargic, depressed, off its food, sitting on the floor of the cage, then those are really obvious symptoms that we need to get them in to see the vet as soon as we can.